I am the Headless Headhunter. I am a corporate recruiter here to review your resumes to get you ahead of your job search. The first resume we have up is an account executive, which could be 1,000 different things, but what we're going to be looking for in an account executive is a degree, B2B experience, previous success with sales. This basically means I need to see you meeting or exceeding your quotas. I need to understand what they are and how you sold and the result of that. The result is technically the previous success. How you negotiated. Not just, you can't just say negotiated, but I want to know, like, how did you do it? CRMs, which is customer relationship management software, such as, but not including, HubSpot, Microsoft Office suites. Again, every single job requires this. Unless you're like a software engineer, you should probably have all of this on your resume right here. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook makes the corporate world go round. And then the industry, so if you were in SaaS or medical or construction, this person has a 75-to-1 ratio, which is how many applications it takes to get an interview. Ideally, we want to bring it down to less than 50-to-1. One interview per 50 applications is okay. It's the equivalent of a C- at school. It barely passes, but it does pass. So anything above that, except for a couple of variations, is not great. So we want to bring that number lower. Let's see. Is there anything else I know here? No. All right. So the first thing is, this is confusing. You explained it to me in your notes, but I still don't get it. So you said you were a intern and then got called back for a couple of months. But then why does it say you're still working there? But then you were working here from May 2024, which is in between this time. So this doesn't make sense. I am going to need you to make this make sense in the resume. I don't know how you write that, but you need to make it make sense because this doesn't track. Now, what you can put is internship and then 6-month contract, but the dates are not dating correctly. So, conducted portfolio modeling by liaising with clients during time-sensitive periods, securitization doctrine, credit rating. Updated and reconciled collateral by integrating client hedge fund, blue book. Extended, give hands-on technology to automated translation. So, here's my problem. I don't know if you wrote account executive. That's what you want to be. I don't see anything for an account executive. Now, with the full disclosure that account executive job titles are kind of iffy, these may not be right, but typically they involve selling or getting a client to pay your company money and then keeping them. It's a bit of a sales role. I don't know what this is, but this may not be an account executive, like a relationship or management consultant maybe, but I don't know what this is in relations to this because there's nothing here I would need for what I found as an account executive. Provided assistance with customer service, POS to handle high volumes of customers at peak hours, including cash and credit. Good. I mean, this is what I would want to see for customer service and multitasking as a barista. But again, you wanted account executive? I don't understand what you are looking for. This may not be the title of the role you think it is, or vice versa, whatever that would be. I'm just very confused. So, formulated, implemented, cost-effective measures, spend money. So yeah, that's my problem here. Is I don't see the keywords I would be needing. Now, I think your issue, and you probably will need to resubmit, is just that I don't know what you do, because this is what I'm looking for, right? Like, if I'm looking for an account executive, I'm going to be looking for B2B, previous success with sales, how you sold and the result, how you negotiated, CRM, that kind of stuff. And this would be too much. This sounds more like God, I don't even know what this is. Also, you didn't put this was an internship. You said you need to make sure this shows as an internship, because otherwise this looks really weird. So I think you need to clarify what it is you do, resubmit, because this reads like a generalized resume to me, and generalized resumes just don't work. I need to know within 15 seconds that you meet those qualifications. I need to see it here. Your formatting is fine, but it doesn't matter if your bullet points are good. So that's all I can really do on this one. It's going to be a short review because I just don't know what it is. Also, why is your education in the middle? This should be up at the top. Education should always be up at the top unless it is not related to the industry you're applying to. So let's go to the next resume. But before we do, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help me out. And if you need more help, which I actually hope this person does join me on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST to 2 p.m. PST. That is where I get these keywords. And then you can correct me if I'm looking at the wrong job, which I might be, or you're looking at the wrong job. I don't know. There's not enough information. I need information. The more information you can give me, the better. So that is how I have to help you, because this is why you get conflicting recruiting advice, is there is never going to be a one-size-fits-all. Ever, ever, ever. I don't think there is anything besides making sure your contact information is correct that works across all industries, all skill levels, all job titles, all geographies. My advice is not one size fits all, it's one size fits most. And that's the best we can do with it. So the more information you give me, the better I can help you. And right now, I don't have enough information to help this person. So, next, resume. This is a resume of a, nope, wrong title. This is the actual title, which is a illustrator and 2D artist. So, this might be 2 resumes in a row where I'm not actually able to help as much as I could because I don't have enough information, which I really hate doing because I know there's a big queue for this, but the illustrator and 2D art community has been decimated by AI. There are a lot of industries where people worry about AI takes their jobs, and I think in a lot of the cases, outsourcing is more prevalent than AI, and AI is not a problem. The art space is not one of those. This has been absolutely decimated by AI. You realistically will probably not find a 2D job. Most of the jobs now, they want like graphic designers for UI, or they want 3D. 3D seems to be at the time of this video where the market is going for. You have stated that you have been searching for a job as an illustrator or concept artist for a while, but you currently live in a non-EU country. It's hard to find something remote. I agree, it is. Most of these jobs are not going to be remote. They have their pick. They want to move to like Canada, and they've studied at a studio that I don't know, but you were struggling to find anything long-term, 6+ months for 2 years now. So, truthfully, art is the industry where you're not going to find long-term jobs. They're mostly contract roles. I don't think even if you move to another country, that will really change. Now, you would have to, say, lead up an art department, but then you would be sort of contracting those roles out. Now, I will say art is not an industry. I've done some graphic design positions, but it is not something I've done a ton in my time. But this is an industry that got decimated, and you're going to have to probably try a lot of different titles because it may not be what you think it's called, and you probably won't get a longer position than 6+ months. 6+ months is pretty rare in the art. It's usually a couple of like 2-day, 2-week, 3-week, 3-month kind of things. That's just the industry. So with that, let me review what I found. There was a single job in Canada with this, which was illustrator and designer. That was it. There are more for if you just put in like let's see, what did I put in? Let me just make sure not to dox people real quick. I put in designer. If you put in designer, you stand a better chance, but I don't know if you qualify for that. So first off, let me tell you this resume format actually doesn't work well for artists. There is another format I have that I do not have ready that I teach that is better suited for artists. This specifically is good for almost every single person with the exception of lots of contract work, which an artist is, high-level managers, and there's one more off the top of my head that I'm blanking on for what was the last one, high-level managers, directors, and people with spotty work experience. So if you're mostly a contractor, if you're a very, very high-level manager, or alternatively you have spotty work experience, this format actually does not work. Those are the exceptions to the rule. I can show you how to do the other format, but you're going to have to come on my channel. So, but let me tell you this. As a designer, you don't want to make your resume fancy. I know that seems absolutely insane, but the person reading your resume still wants it to be boring and basic, even for design roles. For design roles, some of the worst resumes I've ever seen are from very good marketers and very good graphic designers because they try to make the resume like this. So, while you don't want to use all of this formatting, you still want it to be Arial 14 bolded. You still want your phone number and this stuff right up here in Arial 12. You still want to bold the education section, and then the other one works a little bit different, but you still want everything else to be 10.5, black and white, no graphics, no design. So even if you're an artist, you don't want to do that. So what I am going to be looking for, though, is Adobe Suites, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Google Suites, platforms such as Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch, and cross-functional and meets tasks and deadlines and meets deadlines. So these are still going to be the right keywords, even in the other industries, although there's a lot more 3D that they want. So let's look. Worked as the main assistant to... I don't know who that is. Okay. Senior designer. Okay, yeah, this is written very weird. Okay. What is this formatting? Started working as a graphic designer, mainly working in print and design, art director. Oversaw different campaigns. So yeah, these are not the worst bullet points. This is sort of how I want to, but I still need to know that you've done like Photoshop and Illustrator. So, in fact, yeah, no, I don't see anything here either. This is the second resume in a row. I don't really see anything that I need here, but they're not going to scroll that far down. So, keep to a basic and boring formatting. Have some of these keywords in, and look at a couple of different titles. This may be called something else, but... and if you come on the Twitch chat, let me know. I will give you more help. This is a case where generalized advice is not going to be helpful, besides that your resume is too hard to read and that it doesn't have any of the keywords. What you need to do revolves specific stuff, so come on the channel and I'll do what I can to help you out, because not everything I can do by just reviewing, and I want to make sure you still get value out of this. I want to make sure you get a job, and I want to make sure you understand the market, and there's just some things I cannot do in this video format. So let's go to the next resume, which I really hope their job title is something I can actually help with. A front-end engineer. Perfect. I can help with that. Let's go to that resume. This is a front-end developer, front-end engineer, so front-end developer resume. They have a 1 to 50 ratio, which again is like a C-. It's not great. It's not the worst, but it does barely pass. So I'm expecting the formatting to be a little off and maybe some of the bullet points to be a little off, but it's still getting interviews. And what we're going to be looking for as a front-end engineer in the United States, and I think in Europe as well they have the same keywords, is JavaScript, React, Angular, HTML, CSS, and PHP. SQL, Scrum, Agile, RESTful APIs, SEO, which is search engine optimization, which I could probably use some help with that as well. WordPress, Git, Docker, Jira, Vue, Next, and bonuses are extra languages, cloud, UI, UX, SASS, which is different than SAAS, and TypeScript. So let's see. All right, formatting, it can use a little bit of improvement. Skills sections are largely not needed. Your education should be up there. Oh, your education is in... No, your education can be at the bottom because it's not related to this, to being a front-end developer, so that's okay to leave that at the bottom. You can also put status graduated if you want. So company-wise, yeah, so this should just be bullet points. Nothing here should be bolded. Use this formatting. It is the best for most resumes with the exceptions that we covered in the last video, but you are not one of those exceptions. So use it. But again, it's not horrible. I don't want people to think, ew, gross, formatting is going to reject it. No, it just makes it slightly harder to read to find what we need. And the cleaner and more concise you have, the easier it is to find the keywords in 15 seconds, the better your chances of getting a job. All right, so improved website SEO by 50% by removing the Next.js. Okay, so I don't care as much as 50%, but I do like that you say improve the SEO using Next.js, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's good. Made checkout applications faster by building a Node Express, or those keywords that I'm going to be looking for this. I don't know. MongoDB SQL backend. Improving customer satisfaction. Okay, so here's the thing. Stop with the percentages, all right? You don't want a ton of percentages. The exception to that is sales or high-level managers. You don't want to keep saying 13% and 14% and 12% and 2% because it means nothing. Like, how did you figure this out? How did you find out that you improved satisfaction by over 20%? Is there a survey? Which is fine. And then you could say, made checkout applications faster and improved customer service by building X and Y, which resulted in an increase of scores on our customer feedback after the changes took place. That is how you would write that, not satisfaction by 20%. Automated Docker CI/CD to Google Cloud Run. I don't think that's needed for front end specifically. Improving development speeds and a better adherence to deadlines. Constricted agents to Git flow. Git is good, improving our Git workflow and production speeds by over half. So yeah, the problem is you have some extraneous things here. You don't want to ever have extraneous stuff. Like, I don't know if I'd really care about MongoDB for front end. If it's full stack, yeah, maybe, but not for front end. I just need the SQL. I need the Node, the Node.js, which I realize probably should be on there, but the CI/CD, again, not really as useful, but where's the view? Where's the Jira? Where's the next? The next is right here. That's good. There's so much. So again, this is the stuff I'm looking for. If it's not here, it's probably not related, and I don't need it. Reduced API, good API by building a Python Django to React TypeScript. This is okay. Built a TypeScript React. Yeah, so there are couple of flaws with this resume. This is why it's a C-. Is I can definitely see the formatting is a little off. You need slightly better formatting. Arial 10.5, that's what you want to do. Please do this formatting. I swear it'll work better for you. And your skills section is too big. Really don't need it in this case. In addition, here, which I feel like most people would not catch, but recruiter will, and hiring managers hate when this happens, you always need the months with your dates if it's under your experience. You should never ever show that you did not have any months at a job, because this could be you were there from December 2022 to January 2025, which is a big difference than January 2022 to, what month are we in? June 2025 at the time of recording. So always put your months for work experience. You always need to put the months. You don't need the day, but you do need the month, because this could get you rejected because they assume that you have 2 years rather than the 4, right? There's a lot of ifs that can be there between those two numbers without the months. Same with all of them. So you need the months. So that is problem number 1. Formatting is problem number 2. Extraneous keywords is problem number 3. And that's kind of all the problems this has. I don't think it's going to take a lot of work to fix it. Also, way too many percentages. Like, you don't need a percentage on everything. I hate how everybody says, like, action words and stuff, or like metrics like this. Not everything needs a metric. A fine sentence is used JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and React to build our front end web page. Right? That's a fine bullet point. I don't need improved on everything. So does this pass? Yeah, again, this is a C-. This is why you're getting 1 to 50. Fix those issues and you should get a lot more. It seems like you're very skilled. You know what you're doing. In addition, if you are a senior, if you're looking for leadership roles, you may want something about how you led the team, but that's only if you're looking to go to like lead roles. Otherwise, you don't need to include that. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of Satoru Gojo. I love Jujutsu Kaisen. Those fight scenes are amazing. So this person is looking either for a help desk position or a help desk intern position. I'm a little confused on which one they're going for, but I believe they could qualify for full-time of this. So what we're looking for in an intern or in a full-time role is for IT help desk is Mac OS, Linux, Android, Windows, Slack, Zoom, Google Workspace, your education, customer service, networking, IP, troubleshooting, multitask, meeting deadlines, Microsoft Office suites, and CompTIA, Microsoft Certified Desktop Support is a bonus. So let's look. All right, so they graduated. That's good. Digital work with using Android devices. That's okay. See, so here's a okay. So I see this is an internship that's going on. That's fine. I don't know if you need this. So here's my thing. You've been an intern here for like a year, and I feel like all the experience you have here could be used here. So This is okay. So solve supply chain forecast issues using Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, Python, good. Improve project accuracy, lifecycle. Okay, so wait, what? Delayed to okay. Clarify substitute missing items. This is fine. Troubleshooting mobile to prioritize customer order. This one makes sense. I actually think that's pretty accurate. But my thing here is, all right, this is where I'm a little confused. So, I'm trying to struggle on how to do this. This is kind of breaking my mind here. This, you do have some experience. I get this. This is the customer service stuff. I think you can probably fit this into one bullet point, which will be like this one, right? And I would say assisted average 30 plus customers daily, where I fixed, clarify issues, and troubleshoot mobile software. In fact, I would focus more on the troubleshooting mobile software. So I would say handled 30 plus customers daily by troubleshooting mobile software. Let's see. And then something involving Microsoft tools. So you could put it here. This one I'm a little confused about because this is focused almost entirely on coding. I mean, this is good that you have this because I did say that there is, you need Microsoft Office, but I'm looking more for how you installed stuff, how you worked on Linux or Androids or Windows, and I'm not sure I see that here. This looks... I don't know what you've done here that is relevant to this. This does, and I think you can put at least one bullet point in there that shows all of it, but this doesn't seem like you've done anything related to help desk, right? Because they're not looking for improving project timeline by project scheduling. They want to know that you fixed bugs, that you troubleshot stuff, that you hit your deadlines, which is good that you can put that in, that you've used Slack and Zoom and Google Workspace, that you worked in an Android environment. So if it doesn't contain this, it's not relevant. And I imagine you've done that there. But yeah, this is the part that I'm confusing is I understand why this is relevant, and I think it is. I think you could probably explain it a little bit better where it was, like I said, I think this could be one bullet point that's 3 lines, but this is the part that's confusing me. This is solid. Well, hold on. Deployed. Yeah, that's good. That one's good. Configured. Ubuntu, Windows 10 to monitor. So I need more here. The problem is there's nothing here. This is written weird in a way that doesn't showcase what you've done, but I think you have done it. And then this is all the way at the bottom, and you need 3 bullet points for each project minimum. Here, even this, finalize server-based web applications with database backend, enabling restaurant staff to manage booking reservations and special requests using Python and SQL. That's not related to this. How is that troubleshooting? How is that networking? How is that using IP? How is that talking over Slack, Zoom, Google Workspace? Was it in a Windows, Android, Mac, or Linux environment? How was that multitasking? If it's not here, it doesn't matter. So you need to redo some of this. So redo this to make it a little clearer how you have this stuff. Redo this so that it has something I can use to move you forward. Because I can't, look, it's good that you have this, all right? I'm very glad, but I need more. I need to know how you troubleshot. I need to know how you did networking and IP and what environment it was in, Windows, Linux, that kind of thing. And then here, I need more bullet points. So it should be 3 bullet points minimum for everything. Here, you could probably get away with putting 1 big bullet point that has everything. So that's my biggest problem. Formatting is fine. I just don't see what I need to move you forward. Remember, this is the most important part. If I do not see this, I cannot move you forward. If I move somebody forward without this, the manager will eviscerate me. All right? They will destroy me verbally, and I would deserve it. You need to show you have these, or else you will not move forward. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of a software engineer intern. So this person has actually a really good ratio. I'm expecting this to be good. They have a 1 to 40, I think. No, actually maybe 1 to 25 ratio. 2 calls from startups, but only for unpaid internships. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty solid. So they are asking to, like I said, an experienced review. That's kind of weird to say that, but blah, blah, blah. So they want to know what can they do to improve this for internships and what would they need to do for full-time jobs. So for full-time jobs, you will need to pick a tech stack. They said specifically for this, they're focused on both front end and back end versions of this. I will say for internships, it doesn't matter if you're front or back end that much. It's kind of weird that once you're looking for an internship, it doesn't matter if you're front end or back end or full stack. The internship's the internship. But once you get the actual, like you're looking for a full-time job, then you need to pick a stack. So, and the resume that will get you internships is not the resume that will get you necessarily a full-time job and vice versa. So let's see what we're looking for. In interns specifically, it's pretty basic, which is just a basic knowledge of the tech stack. So language, library, SQL, cloud, ability to work well with others, take direction and criticism. So let's check it out. Developed full stack authentication for banking apps using Spring Boot, Java, good, and React, TypeScript, and CSS, offloading 60% of login into validated author service. So I don't care about this as much, but this is really well written and I like it. This should be one line. In addition, okay, so master's internships do want a little bit more. If you have your bachelor's, you should put your bachelor's until you graduate with your master's, but it's not a big deal. Engineered secure authentication for sensitive banking API by migrating from vulnerable client-side cookies to secure integrating. So again, good that I see APIs. The rest of it, I don't know if I need as much, but still, these are solid. Reduce query latency, API SQL, indexing, unfrequented query field. So you may want to remove maybe this and keep this. Containerized deployment for Azure, good, using Dockers, via CI/CD with GitHub Actions. So yeah, you've actually got some solid bullet points here. I think your big issue is you don't really show how you can work well with others or take criticism. Also, this should still be, I know why you did this. You still want it to be in reverse chronological order, but yeah, no. I get it. I get why you did this. Still a little bit weird. I would have preferred this, I guess, up here, because this is also good bullet points, like mentor 20+ students in programming fundamentals, specifically covering Python and JavaScript. Guided undergrad students on project architecture, type safety, taught unit testing. Again, I don't care about submission errors, but this is good. So yeah, these are actually pretty solid. I am missing, like I said, how you work well with others and you take direction and criticism, because a huge thing in internships is they need to know that you can work well with others. Now, you're going to be like, wait a minute, you said I mentored these students. That's working well with others. No, that's leadership. That's good leadership. But we're not looking for leadership. We're looking for you being led. That is your job as an intern. Is they will tell you what to do and you have to do it, and they want to make sure you will not freak out. So that is primarily what I am missing from this. I think there is a bit of, some of these are a little too technical and there's too many percentages, but those are minor quibbles because of how you wrote the rest of this is pretty solid. So this, great, this, meh, this, okay, but not the necessarily 15%, but this is also very good. So yeah, I'm just missing how you worked well with others, and I think you just need to apply to more. 40 is not enough. Even a very good internship resume, maybe getting 1 in 10, 1 in 25 at like best. So you just need to apply to more, add something about how you took direction and how you worked well with others. Remember, not leadership. I'm not looking for you led X. I'm looking for you were led, you communicated with, you worked together to create a project. That's what I'm looking for. So, but I think if you just, kept up like this, you just made it a little bit more technical when you're going for the full thing. And then this is the part that's a little bit weird, is for specifically interns, you want the criticism and the work well with others. Once you're going to full-time, you don't need to put that in your resume. So I think you're going to be doing pretty well once you actually graduate, because these are solid bullet points. And like I said, I like how you wrote most of them. I would say you should have less percentages, but that's a minor quibble because you wrote the rest of it pretty well. So overall, pretty good. I think it's pretty good. definitely passes. So that's it for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you need more help, be sure to join my live stream at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter, twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter, and I will see you all in the next video because I want to make sure you get ahead of your job search.